I am proud to announce Solis Steel Structures sponsorship. Customized, affordable, and creative solutions to meet building needs, whether it be shelter, homeschooling, studio, and office space. Steel is strong, durable, modern, and minimalist. Let your creativity flow to create an interior that dreams are made of. Contact us today and let's get you into one of these beauties.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Hey there. How are you? I am so happy to announce that I have a sponsor, and it is Solis Steel Structures, Strong Modern Solutions. And I want to talk a little bit more about that, incorporating it in our conversation tonight. Thank you for joining. Who's here first? It looks like Jay Blair. Welcome, Jay. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I want to see who else is here. Let's see. Jay. Jay is still teaching me about TD Bank. TD Bank. Yeah, TD Bank. Something in connection to Florida. I'm going to have to do more research about that, Jay. Uh, Jay says, I have wannabe syndrome. I think honestly, I think all of us probably have wannabe syndrome if we're truly honest. It's just the way our culture is. Hello, Donna. Thanks for joining. And Shawnee, thank you for joining. Tracy Wu in Hong Kong, thank you. And Kim Canadian, greetings to the chatmosphere from Nova Scotia. Wow, look at that. We love that you're here, Kim. Sharon, hey, I've missed you. Haven't seen you in a minute. Candace, hello. Glad you're catching me live too. Gemini 24, hello. And cheers, Tara. Thank you, Laura. And Patrice, Diana from jolly old England, Jeff Bishop. Look at that. Hey, Jeff in Alabama. Hey, Cornelia, not me at 70. You're not into the wannabe syndrome. That's good. Hey, Karen, our beautiful Harlem Sentinel. How's it going? Meep, meep on the ground there in New York. I'm hearing a lot when it comes to de Blasio. Wow, you'll have to let us know how you're feeling about all of that. It's pretty crazy. But I want to welcome everybody, and I want to jump into the wannabe syndrome. And we've heard of the term wannabe, and I want to talk a little bit about how it relates to the way we treat, of course, the so-called elite people with money. I mean, I think we all kind of change when we get around people with money and power and fame. Even though we might not want to admit it, I think we all kind of change the way we behave, right? Would you agree, or are you just the same with everybody? Hi, Mama Orico. How are you? I mean, we treat everybody nice, but it's something about people and the way that they get certain like, I don't know, social credit, we could call it, now that we have that term. De Money Honey, hello. Thank you for joining. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, Patrice said keeping up with the Joneses. And it's so toxic when we realize the importance of life and it's not all about that kind of stuff. I mean, I've gotten caught up in that stuff. I'll have a little bit of story time. I'm going to share something. I'll be dropping a name. Okay. Another name, a name dropper, right? We've heard that term, name dropper. Hey, Jeffrey. Thank you. Lake Superior. Wow. Fabulous. Thank you for joining. So the wannabe syndrome, it is that thing that we strive, it's aspirational. We want to be successful in this society. And what is success? We've all been reevaluating that over the past 2 years because many of us have lost a lot of our footing in the economy due to these things that I will not name right now. But, a lot of people are having to deal with things like, for me, a nurse. I was told my whole life, my mother, she used to always try to get me to go into nursing. She would bring the newspaper when we used to really read the newspaper, the want ads for anybody in my generation. The want ads would come out every Sunday, and we would see all your jobs would be there way before we had the internet. And oh, wow, look who's here. We have the sponsor himself. Look at that. Hello, Marlon. Thank you for joining. Yes, and I will be talking more about that. I love that you're here, and I'm so honored that you are sponsoring my vlog, and it's awesome. He is an awesome American. But back to the wannabe syndrome. It is something we're not proud of, right? But again, I was going back to the nursing thing. My mother would just hold up the want ads. Look, nursing, you should think about nursing. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do in college. I dropped out for a bit. I went over to Europe and I modeled for a bit. And then I realized modeling is not a good profession. I could tell stories about that another time, but modeling it was a big red pill for me in a way to go over. I was living in Milan, Italy, and I was traumatized by that experience. So, I thought it was a dream I wanted to do since I was a teenager. And, you realize when you get close to certain things, you do not want that, especially if you've been raised a certain way and you realize you have to compromise so much of who you are and you're just not willing to do that. So back to the nursing thing. So I came back after realizing modeling is not a profession. It's very dark. It's very like criminally, the people that kind of own the industry, big criminal enterprises, horrible. So I came back, kind of with my tail between my legs and like, I can't do this. And went back to college, resumed college, but I wasn't sure. But that's when my mother was always with the want ads, like, you should go into nursing, you should do that. And I figured, well, I'll listen to my mother and go into nursing because she's right. You'll always have a job, right? Hey, Steph, hello. Thanks for joining. And that was something you probably always thought too, that a nurse is always going to have a job. Not so. We are now seeing that everything we could have thought was one way is totally not. We're seeing nurses are being escorted out of hospitals because they will not comply with mandates. And it is something to behold. So oh, wow, look at that. I see a new name that I hadn't seen. Santa Monica Prepper. Hey, oh, thank you. Santa Monica, California. Oh, wow. How awesome. So with this Ghislaine, you call her Jizzy, all you people that have your ways you pronounce her name, it is opening up a lot of people's eyes to the way that things go. And we're going to touch on a little bit of that because I said I'll touch on it when I could tie it into certain things. I don't want to go play by play with it, but we'll talk about it a bit and go to you like Jizzy. Yeah, a lot of people do. Hello, Erica. I love your hair, Erica. Beautiful. Don't you love her hair? It's so fabulous. David from Massachusetts, East Coast Crime Center, checking in, huh? Penny Lane, hello. And Lake Girl, wow, I haven't seen you in a bit, Lake Girl. Thank you for dropping in. Donna is a Philly John. That's right, Donna. I gotta look you up when I'm in Philadelphia, my hometown. I've been in healthcare 30 years, and that will end January 3rd due to noncompliance. Wow. See, these are things you would never hear prior to 2020, and everything has just gone bananas. So, I want to talk about the wannabe syndrome because it deals with, again, how we deal with the wealthy, the elite, the powerful, the famous, all that stuff. So, let me share my screen and let's get into this a little bit. All right. So, there is the yes man, the wannabe kind of thing. I want to get into some of the other terms. Okay. The wannabe king. Let's go there first. Okay. So I'll just, we read through just a bit of it, not all of it. If you want the links, I can provide them. You just let me know. So the wannabe king personality. This is from Psychology Today. And it just says some people want to be the king. Their personality patterns suggest the future. And it kind of talks about some of the, personalities in politics around the world, like Boris Johnson, who these people always thought they would be world king, it says. As a child, he told a family friend that it was his ambition to be world king. Isn't that something? And let's see. The wannabe king. So what is their personality pattern of behavior? And it deals with narcissism, sociopathic, in the DSM-5. These are disorders that they have come up with. And one of the things they do is their targets of blame. What is that? Targets of blame. In order to gain power, wannabe kings are preoccupied with blaming others. They're targets of blame or fantasy villains. They consciously select these targets based on several characteristics, including that the targeted individual or group is somewhat familiar but relatively few in number and politically weak, yet alleged to be secretly powerful. And they go through a few people. And this is more of leadership, like they deal with Hitler, and sort of the personalities of these kind of people, lying to public. And the conclusion, let's read the conclusion. 2020, it's going back to we're going back in time. 2020 will be a very interesting year for wannabe kings and those who want to understand them. People with personality awareness will be less surprised and more able to make wise decisions as voters, public figures, and associates of wannabe kings. We will see which nations realize the political issues, not the issue. The personality is the issue, and will take power away from them rather than giving them more. That's interesting. Not sure about that. But I just took a few other, little clips here. Charlotte's Web from Dallas. Hello. How's Dallas? Have you been looking at the things, the goings on in Dallas? Let us know what's going on. Ari, now I haven't seen you in a long time, Ari. How are you doing? Blessings to you. Sycophants. Yes, that's a word, right? Let's see. Frank Prepper, you said like Justin Trudeau. They're raised from little kids, MK mind. Yeah, exactly. Yes, Karen, narcissists. Hello, Helen from Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining. Karen, hello. Glad you're here. Johnny Borealis. Gosh, being a wannabe king sounds like a lot of work. It is not something that you would want to go through, I'm sure. Hey, Evolutions, how are you? Auntie Well, blessings to you. So let me share another article. I was just reading different articles. Okay, where's the other wannabe article? Okay, so I also dealt with yes men. Okay, yes men, I guess we could say yes women. We're not going to be just singling out the men. Okay, so this article is from, I think it's called Rise and Stand. It's a blog, news blog. So it dealt with the wannabe. I'm sorry if I'm scrolling too fast. Hold on to your seats and hold on to your popcorn. Not trying to get you dizzy. Okay, so the wannabe motivation. They crave respect for being competent and professional despite lacking in competence and professionalism. The mindset is deceptive. Malice is low to medium. When held accountable, high, medium to high. Similar to the attention seeker, is one of life's chronic underperformers and is best described as ineffectual in everything, craves undeserved respect and attention, and will go to considerable lengths to acquire them, hangs around the fringes of a profession, not professionally qualified, but claims they are a professional because they sit next to a professional or work alongside or near or in the midst of professionals or provide services to professionals, lacks the ability, competence, and professionalism to be a qualified professional. There's a lot of professionals in there. Wants to be seen as a competent professional person, but is unwilling to put in the work to achieve it, and unwilling to apply knowledge gained from experience, but instead devotes time and effort to improving skills of deception, manipulation, false claim, denial, and projection. Many have been rejected by their chosen profession for lack of competence, and is spiteful towards and despises anyone who is qualified in the profession from which the bully has been excluded by virtue or lack of competence. Oh, this is a long one. It goes into plagiarizing, stealing ideas. They oppose ideas of others. And when in a position of power, associates with and makes alliances with or surrounds him or herself with clones, drones, minions, fellow wannabes, sycophants, there you go, Jay, and brown nosers. Oh gosh, okay, this is a long one. They're emotionally immature, controlling, easily provoked. Let's see. I'm just going to skim through it. It's a lot here. Female wannabes may be arch bullies. Some people might call them puppet masters or queen bees. Uh-oh, I'm wearing my bee earrings. I'm not a queen bee. They may surround herself with drones of the opposite sex, may exploit some perceived vulnerability in self to ensure drone loyalty, gives the appearance of loyalty to drones, but will discard them when they've served their purpose, is likely to have affairs to gain power, status, or position. Well, isn't that quite a set of characteristics, huh? Sounds a lot like Robinette. Yeah, it does. Hey, Shauna, hello. Good evening, Nixon. Thanks for hanging out with us. Queenie's World, hello. Thank you. I don't want to be accused of being a queen bee, though. I just like the bees because I love pollinators. I do. Hey, Ron, I prefer a jack of all trades over a professional at. Oh, really? Okay. CC, good evening. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what else I have to share. It's now the yes men. I wanted to talk about that because, again, I want to connect this to what we're seeing with this elite circle and some of the things that are coming out of this trial, because it's a lot of yes people. Let's see. The yes man syndrome. Let's read that. Okay, you know me. The yes man syndrome. Okay. The press makes much of whistleblowers and their role in uncovering organizational crises, and those organizations often try to paint the whistleblower as a disgruntled employee whose viewpoints and facts are skewed by personal bias. That's an argument hard to make with whistleblowers such as FBI's Colleen Rowley. Her professionalism and dedication to the Bureau led to the agency's acknowledging her now famous letter. And let's see. Hold it. This goes into, I wanted to get into the yes man thing. Where is it? Crisis manager. Bear with me. I don't see it, people. It was something that I wanted to bring out in this article. I read it like the other day. But I guess it deals with some more like situational things with jobs. So, okay, forgive me for this one. This wasn't one. Just scratch that. Let me go to the other. How's it going in here? Let me go to this other. Why yes men are dangerous. Oh no, what happens inside the yes man's brain? So this is a Forbes article. Yeah, this is what happens inside the brain of a yes man. Most of us feel a twinge of discomfort when disagreement looms in a conversation. We start socializing with what social psychologists call the truth bias, a default low conflict position our brains fall back on to keep our interactions generally simpatico. As with most personality drivers, this one operates along a spectrum. Some people are naturally more agreeable, others are more comfortable with conflict, with plenty of non mutually exclusive overlap between the two positions. But then there are some, and it's a significant percentage, who will do almost anything to avoid conflict. For them, disagreement is more than a bit uncomfortable. It's painful and on a day-to-day basis, extremely difficult to overcome, even when situations warrant an assertive stance. They choose to deal with uncomfortable situations with uncritical agreement, hence labels like yes man, particularly if they feel overshadowed by another's status. And I wanted to bring that up because I see this, when we try to understand, well, why did certain people stay around and help recruit for this, worldwide sex trade? You have lots of yes men, lots of yes women, but there's a bit of course, abuse and trauma. And we can imagine how that works. But lots of famous people and powerful people have these yes men and women around them. So that's why I'm bringing this up. So particularly if they feel overshadowed by another status, part of what fuels cults of personality is a leader's ability to elicit uncritical agreement by leveraging exactly this dynamic. A new study turned a spotlight on the brain mechanics behind conflict avoidance and may have found at least part of the reason why it's difficult to stop being so recklessly agreeable. Look at that. Recklessly agreeable. Never heard of that. As it turns out, the same brain areas that activate when someone experiences cognitive dissonance also fire up when we're facing disagreement. Dramatically more so for those on the chronic yes side of the conflict avoidance spectrum. So they've done like brain imaging, and let's go to the let's go to some. I'm just going to skim through. You know how I do that. The results make a lot of sense in light of what we know about the brain's penchant for certainty. We are not naturally inclined toward contradiction because contradiction is a flavor of uncertainty, and uncertainty is a flavor of instability. The human brain is a stability seeking organ that leans towards balance, aka homeostasis. And the truth bias is a symptom of that leaning. Challenging someone else's truth imbalances the neural apple cart. This is a lot of psychobabble, right? I don't know. I'm sorry, psychologists. I play one on the internet. I'm not trying to insult you. Forgive me. Okay, so let's see. I wanted to get to the conclusion if it has one. Does it? It kind of just goes into the neurobiology of being a yes person. So that was another article. Let's see what you were saying. Karen says those yes men and women types on the job considered me to be crazy. Yeah, a lot of us are going to be those ones that aren't the yes people because that's why we resonate with each other, right? Yes, that was quite a mouthful, Helen. Yes, indeed. Cognitive dissonance, a lot of that. I mean, we all suffer from it. Yeah, it is interesting, right? It was just something I wanted to, I think it's one more. Let me share one more. I'll skim through it again. Let's see. Why they are dangerous. Why the yes men. Okay, why yes men are dangerous and how to easily spot them. Okay, we find peace in being supported by others. When expressing our ideas to the people around us, we more often look for acceptance rather than criticism of our thoughts. This innate desire for our thoughts and ideas to be accepted by the world around us drives us to surround ourselves with people who think and act like us, right? They call that an echo chamber, and we're accused of that, right? Patriots and conservatives and people on the right, we're the only ones that are in the echo chamber. What's bad about this divide is that when we really get honest, we have to agree that we're all in echo chambers of, of sorts, because we don't really have dialogue with people that totally are diametrically opposed to our way of thinking. Like, do we? I don't know. You may be out there having nice, healthy debate with people that are completely opposite of you. But I think that we probably initially had that going on when 2020 kind of stormed in. But then we kind of all went to our respective corners, right? Yeah, Karen, echo chambers. And let's see, Jeffrey, we create, they destroy. And then they would say that about us. I was talking to my daughter and I was sharing some things, and she said, I don't ever come across this information other than you sharing it. And I thought about that, and she's in a very blue, liberal city. And I can see how that can happen if you work on a certain job and people think the same way and you're just hearing that all the time. You will not hear anything that challenges that. And that's why we have such division, is that we don't get to challenge each other in a healthy way, because nobody really needs to be, attacked, right? Ad hominems. Nixon, you said you never really cared for what others thought of you except my job. I take pride in my work every day. I'm a great employee, hence why I'm a contractor now. That's smart. I'm glad you were able to do that, to be a contractor. And let's see, Audrey is saying better late than never. Hello. You said groupies. No, we don't want to be groupies. Hey, Sunny Day, you're not late. You're not late. So let's see what they're saying about the dangers of being a yes man. Okay, so, we want to find people that agree with us, basically. So you need someone to protect you from yourself, they're saying. You will make bad decisions in your lifetime. They may even be terrible. Catching bad ideas prior to their execution via action is an obviously good method of alleviating the stress which they may cause in the future. So basically, you know how they say it's always good, like when a person becomes famous, they need to be around the friends that were there when they weren't famous. You've heard that a lot. Or they need to stay in touch with down to earth people. And I've heard people say it doesn't matter how powerful, famous, or whatever, wealthy they are. When they go home to visit their parents, their parents might say, go take the trash out, and they don't treat them like whatever the world treats them like. So it is a good way to stay grounded, as they say. And so a lot of people, especially, they fall into these traps where they are not around the right kind of people, but around these yes people. So what will happen if the yes men run amok? As you begin to realize that others encourage you to act and think in ways which hurt you in the long run, you won't know who to direct your anger towards, it's saying. I always try to go for the how to spot a yes man. Yes men are typically present in the circle of people you surround yourself with. They reduce their relationship with you down to the notion of always agreeing with the ideas you propose serves to benefit them in some form. They're enticed to keep the people who always agree with. Oh, we're enticed to keep the people who always agree with us around. Let's see if there was nope, no conclusion. So that was just me trying to talk about yes men, yes women. And I want to talk about the case with Ghislaine, because it looks like some weird things are going on. Okay, so we're going into week 2, which is supposed to be a 6-week trial. So let's go to the Maxwell trial tracker. And this was shocking for me to see. Can you all see this? Okay. It is saying that, 2 hours ago, that is not a fair trial when hundreds of global elites are tied to a child sex trafficking ring, and you only bring in 3 witnesses and call the case closed after 2 weeks. Massive cover up. So the Ghislaine Maxwell case may close at the end of this week instead of going through 5 to 6 weeks. Unbelievable. They could have gone on for months with evidence. Feels staged and suppressed. And the other tweet, this is 2 hours ago, massive cover up on a global scale. So something has happened. Were you all aware that they are talking about concluding the trial this week, which would just be 2 weeks? Who knew about that? We need the truth. Yes, Cece. Yeah, I'm sorry to be the bearer of the bad news, but I just wanted to keep you all abreast of what is happening. Let's see, Nixon is saying, no one on MSM is covering this story, the biggest story in human or Earth's history. What the heck? Yes. Wow. Right. You heard about it, Audrey? Yeah, it is disappointing. Yeah. I'm going to go to another one that I keep, I keep up with, I shared those with you, the couple that if you put in, of course, the hashtags, you can. So that was Maxwell trial tracker. And then remember Inner City Press. Let's see what he's saying. So Inner City Press on Twitter, he's saying Courtroom premature conclusion, he's asking. In the hashtag Ghislaine Maxwell trial, survivor Carolyn is badgered by defense lawyer Pagliuca. Sorry. Then U.S. says it will rest case this week. So he is also saying the same thing. What is going on? So 3 hours ago, Inner City Press says now that U.S. Attorney says it will end its case against Ghislaine Maxwell this week. It's worth noting that here at Southern District New York Live, there is a Bronx felon in possession of ammo case on which the U.S. had take more than 2 weeks. He's covering both. He covers lots of cases, by the way. Excuse me. Need to get a drink of water. So, wow. That's what's going on, everybody. We're dealing with not good. Straight Fugazi. Exactly. Very, yeah. Well, a lot of you all said that it was, we were, yeah, right. We were thinking that it was going to go this way. We weren't sure, but I don't think any of us are surprised. Is that fair to say? Not surprised. Very unfortunate. I will continue to follow and see what I can, can gather from what a lot of the experts are saying. Hey, Shauna Marie, yes, you believe it's a sham also. Jeffrey is saying allegedly everyone gets, oh, really, a Rommel death. My understanding, allegedly. You have a lot of allegedlys. Donna's not surprised. Yes, lots of allegedlys. Let me go to a story time, okay? Let's break it up a little bit because that's really frustrating. I want to end off on something different and nice, okay? So, story time. I was at the supermarket today and a lady was on the floor, okay? By, how they have in the front of the market, they have big, displays. So it was like the big Frito-Lay, I guess, display, all the chips and everything. And she was right there in front of that display on the floor. And she fell. It was so fast. It happened just as I was coming in. And she sustained a big knot on her head. And she was an older lady, really sad situation. So it was another lady. And then the managers, they were kind of standing around like they didn't know what to do. So the lady and I were helping this woman. And the woman that was helping along with me, she was a physical therapist. I think she said she works in physical therapy. And when I had approached, the woman had her mask on. And I just want to say, I was disappointed that they kept her mask on. I had to be the one to say, can we take her mask off? And so I ripped her mask off because I just said, I wasn't rude, but I said, she needs to breathe. That's number one. She needs air. That is not something that is clicking for people. And that's really, I noticed that from last year. Because when I was still working in the hospital, there was a woman who was having lots of respiratory problems. And, everybody was wearing this 12-hour shifts. And I asked her, I said, had you thought about maybe this thing for 12 hours might be causing your respiratory problems? Do you think maybe? I might be crazy, but do you think? And it didn't dawn on her that could be the case. So I just want to say that when we're out in public, if you start to see people having challenges, please think of that first. Get them some fresh air. because, a lot of us are healthcare professionals, or we know at least some of the basics, but just, kind of jump in, even if you don't get involved. If you notice that the thing is still on and somebody's having problems, maybe you could suggest it to the people that are helping. Like, can we get some oxygen, fresh air? That's ABCs, of emergencies. Airway is first. Okay. So anyway, I was a little disturbed by that, but she was a sweet little lady. Her husband, he was just on the other side of the store, and she was rushing. And when I was asking her questions just to kind of see what her cognition was like, when you ask people, who's the president? Well, that's not a good question to ask for cognition at this point. Who's the president? I don't think people really know. Okay. But that was one of the questions, when your nurse is asking you, so what year is it? Who's the president? We're going to have to change that one. So I was just talking to her, finding out some of her history before the EMTs arrived. And, she was clear enough to answer questions. She said, yeah, my husband, he's just getting water. We just came in. He was just going to get water. And, she said that she had broken an arm not that long ago out in the garden. And then I got the idea that she's accident prone, and that happens with a lot of older people because they're not taking safety into consideration, right? If you may have older people in your family, you may be caring for someone, and they try to do things that, they're carrying lots of things, their balance isn't the same. So we just want to be mindful of our older, people, that just remind them. And I reminded her when she was getting taken off, I said, listen, I don't want to see you in the market rushing around. And she laughed, I said, because you have to slow down. She said, I know. So it's just, again, airway, breathing, oxygen. It's good for humans for some strange reason, really good for us. So, hey, isn't that a weird thing that we have to remind people? But yeah, we do, right? Hey, Nixon, right? Can you imagine? I just had to say, can we take her mask off? Gosh. All right. I feel like I'm in such an alternate universe at this time. Hey, Albert. Hola. Glad to see. Yes, back in action. Okay. If I can't be in the hospitals, I'm in the bigger hospital, which is planet Earth. It's one big mental health hospital, I said. Hey, Lori. Hello. So let me go to back to, let's see, sharing my screen. It's another story I want to tell that's kind of in line with the whole thing we were talking about, the wannabe. I want to share story time. Okay. I'm going to drop a name. Okay. So don't get mad at me. Okay. Don't get mad at me. Okay. Does anybody know this guy? He's famous and all that. Ain't no joke. Lori said, it is a mental health hospital. Does anybody know about this guy here? Tracy is saying, recently a popular YouTube female had a preemie baby and they forced her to wear a mask waiting to give birth. Are you serious? Took it off while giving birth, though. Oh my gosh. Wow. My goodness. Unreal. You like him, Nixon? You say he's a great actor? Okay, story time. Okay, Terrence Howard. I met him 30th Street Station for my Philly Johns, okay? I was working on a project with some of my really best friends at the time. I don't know if they are still my best. I don't know who's my friend from my past, but anyway, we were working on a project that was a TV show. We wanted to put together this home decorating and home improvement type of show. We had this idea, and a lot of us were on maternity leaves and we were watching a little too much HGTV at the time. So one of my friends said, Jennifer, we want to do a project with you. We want you to be like the Oprah of home improvement, because I have had a couple of homes that I renovated that were money pits. I can tell you, those are all together whole shows. I could talk about that. Just like that movie, The Money Pit. Unbelievable. So I learned the hard way about how to do a few things because I've had to deal with, those kind of issues with contractors and stuff like that, taking advantage of me because I was young in my 20s and they thought I was dumb. And yeah, I was, I did some dumb things. But anyway, yeah, Patrice knows Empire. You guys crack me up. Patrice, what do you know about Empire? I love you all. So, wait a minute. I got to read that. God's Ollie. Greetings, fellow conspirators. That's an awesome greeting. Okay, so I want to talk about, okay, back to the story. Story time, story time. Okay. So we were working on a treatment, as they say, like we were putting this whole thing together and we were lucking up. We were actually going forward with trying to put together a TV show. Okay, so anyway, Terrence Howard enters the picture. We're over, we were coming back from New York or something. All of us, it was like three of us, three of my friends. We grew up in Philly. So we're 30th Street Station and we were just walking through the main part and Terrence was walking through. He had like a guitar on his back. And this is before he was famous on the mainstream side of things. He was kind of famous in a certain little circle. He was on a TV show, not real big, but people knew who he was. But we recognized him, and my friends, they're kind of on the shyer side, with stuff like that. I don't care. I was like, hey, how you doing? Because we were trying to find a co-host at the time, and one of my friends said, oh my God, look at that guy. That's that guy from the show. What do you think about asking him if he might want to consider being a co-host? So it was the premise to me saying, hey, okay, I wasn't hitting on him. I do not want that to be a thing. But I was just like, business, okay? Hey. So we started talking. He was really nice. He was going through some family stuff, like divorce or something like that. He was not in a happy kind of place. So it was around the holidays and he was like, yeah, I would consider that, because I kind of just told him what we were thinking. And he said, well, let's exchange numbers. And we did. And and so we called him up, like, because a few of my friends were having different parties and stuff. It was around New Year's and he was just alone. It was really sad. He had family in the area, but he was relegated to like staying in a hotel or something. So we picked him up and brought him over to one of my friends' homes. And this is what I want to say about this. This is why I'm bringing it up, because we laugh about this now. When like we brought him into the bigger group, everybody, like, it was like, when you see the record, like in a movie, it kind of scratches and stops. That was how it was. Everybody was talking and being normal. And then when he came in, everybody was like, oh my God, because everybody knew who he was. Okay. Especially the Black community. We knew who he was. So, it was crazy to watch people's reactions. They started tripping all over themselves, talking real fancy. And it's like, I'm looking at them like, are you kidding? You're like, who are you? You're talking like a British person. Why are you doing this? Acting so weird. And the friend whose home that we were at, he was so particular about his home. You couldn't do anything. His home was like a museum. People that are like that. Well, guess what? He let Terrence smoke in his living room. He didn't even have ashtrays. He was stumbling all over himself to try to find something that Terrence could, put his ashes out. And I was looking at him like, I don't even know you. Are you kidding me? Just letting this guy do anything because he's famous. And that's why I want to bring that up. It was a funny thing. We laugh about it now because we did not know he was going to become so famous. Okay. He was just kind of mid-level famous. But, we later got to see him doing all these movies and all this stuff. And, people would always tease me because I kind of became a little bit of his friend because I was like a sounding board. He was going through some sad things, but it was all friendship, everybody. I didn't resonate with him because of that kind of fast Hollywood life, because he would talk to me about the things that would happen on sets and things, and I would just glaze over like, whoa. And he noticed that I was just a little too like square, but I listen, I could never be in that world. I could never. But anyway, I was just trying to be, I guess, just a friend or something. He didn't end up working with us, but it was just an interesting encounter. But I bring it up to say that people change around what they perceive as famous people. They do not act like themselves. And I guess we're all guilty of that. So we have to check ourselves, in terms of why do we give people these, I don't know, this power. We're reevaluating all this stuff. And I mean, celebrity, I can't imagine what it's going to be like on the other side of all these things that are happening. And the way that this Ghislaine Maxwell trial is shaping up, if they end this trial this week, I don't know. What do you all think is going to happen? I mean, really, what do you think people are going to do? Do you think they'll just be passive and I don't know, just do you think they'll be okay? You're laughing, Jen. My mom called me a square. Yeah, like I can be a square, It's like I don't know, growing up as an only child, I don't know if that has something to do with it. Just I don't know. I've always been kind of to myself a bit, and I don't know, just like calm, peaceful stuff. I don't like a lot of drama. So I don't know if that's an aspect of being an only child growing up. So possibly that's it. But anyway, let me go back to bear with me, bear with me.
I'm
Bear with me. I'm going to, where was I going with this? Yes, let's go back to Solis steel structures, okay? Strong modern solutions. Now, I want to talk about something on an up note because I know that maybe a lot of you would be a little bit upset to know that they will end this, goody two shoe. Oh my gosh, I was called a goody two shoe, Penny Lane, when I was a alpha sweetheart. Because even though I know you guys know that I'm not Black Boule, okay, I'm not Black Boule. I was a sweetheart to a Boule fraternity when I was at Spelman, and the guys named me. Okay, you ready for this? For the cartoon people from my generation, the guys named me because everybody had to have a nickname. I was called Polly Purebred. Okay, from who knows who Polly Purebred is? Who knows? Who knows? So you say you're the eldest of 5 children and you're like that? Yeah, I mean, people think we're square. I don't care anymore. Who knows who Polly Purebred is? That was my nickname. Yes, Cece. Do you know where it's from? Who knows? Drop it in the chatmosphere. Do you know who Polly Purebred is? What cartoon? Let's see who's really in my my generation in here. Come on, let's drop it. Drop it. Who knows? Polly Purebred from a cartoon. You were called, you said passive zombies. I was also called Perfect Penny. That's great. Empress, hey, yay. In the UK, it's 2 a.m. Oh, you're hanging out with us. Do you know who Polly Purebred is? Do you know what cartoon? Drop it in. You don't know, Nixon? Oh, okay. Somebody's going to know. Hang on, Nixon. Somebody. I'm waiting. Excuse me. If Karen says if they let her walk later, we probably will hear she committed suicide. Yeah. There you go. Johnny Borealis. You cheated. You had to look it up. Johnny. Underdog. Anybody remember the cartoon Underdog? I wasn't a big cartoon person. I liked more puppet shows. Like I was more into like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I loved when he went through the land of make believe or whatever. I liked the little trolley. Remember that? And what was that puppet? uh Lady Elaine and something Fairchild. Do you all remember that? I was really, really into that. I didn't like the cartoons. My cousins, when I would hang out with them, they were always watching cartoons, and they were the kind of kids like, when kids are like glued and they're like, their eyes don't even blink. That's how my cousins were. I could try to talk to them and they were staring at the TV and they wouldn't blink. And I couldn't understand. I was like, who are they? They are really strange, because I was like this only child and I did a lot of creative play, but all they wanted to do was watch cartoons all day long. And literally, they were in a trance. Okay. Tracy made it. Hey, Tracy. Yes, Mr. Rogers. I like that kind of stuff. Yes. Uh, you said didn't underdog pop pills. Did he? I didn't know. I don't know a lot about the details. I just remember Underdog. Hey, Deborah, thanks for joining. Here I am to save the day. That's right. You remember. Yeah, see? I knew somebody had to know that. Here I am to save the day. Shauna says, I'm of your generation, Jen, but don't know of polypurebred. Yeah, I didn't know too much about polypurebred, but the guys that were in the fraternity, they were more like kind of boomers. They were the younger of the boomers. They were older than me, so they were, that was more of their thing. But they gave me that name. I was a little annoyed at that because I didn't like being teased, because it was kind of like, they tease you a little bit about being square, especially in college. But hey, I did rebel and do crazy things, right? Yeah. Oh, Cece said puff and stuff. Yes. I loved those, and Witchy Poo and all that. I'm sorry. I liked Witchy Poo. She was scary and funny and crazy. And I don't know. I kind of liked her. But anyway, I want to talk about these steel structures here. And it was something that I was very inspired to talk about, especially with the economy the way it is. And I want to just plant this seed for people to think about when you are, downsizing your life and you're thinking about ways to get closer to family, because I love the idea of cooperative economics in families. And it doesn't have to be family, but friends. You may find that a few friends, okay, let's go on a little, okay, hypothetical. Okay. So you have friends and they are maybe 4 of them. And maybe it's like the situation like you that I find myself in, downsized, and what are you going to do in your profession, because this is crazy everywhere. So you may want to downsize your life and find 4 family members, 4 friends, and you can take these steel structures and create homes. Maybe 4 of you could buy a plot of land and subdivide it. And do you see these structures? They can be used for living. That's what people are doing. It's so many creative solutions people are finding where they can get out of mortgages. Okay. And you can insulate these, you can put drywall, you can put all kinds of things. The floors are beautiful because it's concrete slab, but you can burnish it and put the shellac and stuff, and it's gorgeous. Okay. Open floor plans, different sizes. Some people like the tiny home movement. I have a cousin who's addicted to the tiny home channel, and she wants to do it. She wants to take all of the clutter out of her life, get rid of stuff that she doesn't need, and she wants to live simple and kind of off the grid. So I just wanted to share that this is a solution to our modern times, okay? And they may be, used as garage, storage, barns. They're even calling these things barn dominiums. Have you all heard that term, barn? Yes, Sunny Day heard about it, barn dominiums. There you are. Tracy Wu wants to live in one. There you are. Roxanne. Hey, lots of great tiny house videos and off the grid living. Oh, yeah, they are big. Big. You guys are going into Magic Mirror romper room, really? They are actually really roomy inside. They are. And that's what I want to do. To end this off on a nice, fun note, I want to share some of the things. So, okay, let me get back on track. Okay, cooperative economics. Okay, you could homeschool everybody. For the people that are pulling their hair out, wondering how am I going to do homeschooling? I got to get my kids out of these crazy schools. This could be a way that you could get together with people. Somebody can teach. I know everybody feels like they can't teach. Somebody can teach. Okay. Imagine you get, okay, this is my dream for 4 people. You do 4 by 4 by 4 by 4. Okay. Find a plot of land, downsize your life, get a steel structure, customize it. Very simple. You don't have to be overboard. And you could have it like in a place where you could have maybe a, a structure that could be the school. Okay. And if you want to do things like work from home, you could do a structure where you have like a couple of desks where you can walk across from home and feel like you're going to work. You're just walking across, and you have your computers and your stuff, and maybe 4 desks or 2 or 3 or whoever works from home. You see what I'm saying? This is possible, everybody, if you get together with like-minded people. These are some solutions I'm just dreaming of. So, okay, you could have studios, you could have cottage industry. Maybe people could learn how to make soap, make candles, make bread, make pottery. Those are all things you can start cottage industries and sell. Can you imagine grow food? Okay. And just maybe have like a set of what is it for the kids, like a play set, and just, you know, simple living. And you don't have to, go through the worst parts of these things. Like if you pull together and do something like that. So that's just something. Beekeeping, exactly. Beekeeping. You could sell honey. Okay. You could barter. I mean, these are things that you can do. And if you think about it, it's not too much to do it. I'm just dreaming. Your older family members, you can have these structures because you don't have to have stairs, and you can have an in-law suite, and you can outfit it with, the tubs that you walk in, and you can start to prepare maybe for your parents to live with you. Hey, PH Joy, you said I have art, music, language, food, farming skills. See, lots of you have these skills. Tracy says those good with animals can incorporate them into teachable situations. Exactly. Tracy, gonna grow aloe vera and herbs. Wonderful. You said a commune. I knew somebody would think it was a commune. We don't want you to do any doomsday cult stuff, but I'm just saying everything short of a cult, okay? Or commune. I don't know. Commune isn't a bad word, is it? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Commune? Oh, yeah, did that in college. In the cult you were in, it was fun. So cults can be fun when you're in college, huh? Don't go to the cult side of it, please. Okay, stay away from that. You can even form a bank. People are doing that. They're forming banks, even. You know. So I just wanted to show you that, and then I want to share how some people. I'm just going to share a couple of clips of how they can create interiors. Okay, so this is a barn dominium. I'll just show a little clip of it. Barn dominium. Can you see? All right. This is a couple that finishes
fireplace at home, but this would be even better for this area, which is supposed to put off quite a bit of heat as well for a lengthy period of time. But moving right through here,
this is a steel
one
structure.
thing that you can notice
okay, look at how
is we've got this grand set of
Roomy it
stairs that
is.
goes up. This is kind of a creative thing that the client asked for us to do.
So this has
This is
stairs.
not
I mean,
something
you
that we've
know,
done on a lot of our builds.
somebody could be on the
but
lower
we
level.
did fabricate these
It's amazing,
stairs
right?
and,
So cute.
put
You
all
like
this
it, Donna?
together.
I just want to
Some of the challenges we had
an
was
idea out there, okay?
doing the cabling system as well as just running a steel beam. What we had to do in order to make
This
this
guy
support
has an
without having to
awesome
have
beard,
a
by the
column
way.
here is we actually
Wonderful
ran
beard.
another steel beam that
It looks
runs
like he
between
blow
the
dries the
interstitial
beard.
space
I don't know, like
from this
I know,
leg
maybe curl
that runs all the way
flat
to the
irons it. I
exterior
don't
wall
know.
that
It's
way.
so awesome
And then
and
we have
perfect.
another support that ties into our main
You
beam
love it?
on this side. So
You
all of
changed your
that
mind about it?
is
Oh, I'm
supported.
glad,
And then we've
Nixon.
got
See,
also
you're being
support
open-minded.
that
I
sits
just
right
wanted to
there
put the idea. I'm
between,
planting seeds.
the
I'm
bedroom
planting
and that, which
seeds,
I have
Nixon.
to, I'd have to show you guys that another time. But you know, it took a little bit of engineering to
Don't
get
you
all
love
that
the open
done.
floor plan? Is that
But
gorge?
we do have master bedroom on this side of the house, and then 2 more bedrooms on that side of the house. So just kind of give you guys a layout, and hopefully you guys
And
get
do
a
you
chance
see
to
the
see
floor?
plans as
Because
well,
this is
so you can
slab
kind of get an idea
concrete.
what we're dealing with on
They
this
just
space.
burnish
Same
it
concrete
and
throughout.
see?
Everywhere. We've got the
So you
same
don't need to
concrete with the
have
exception
some
of
big
upstairs.
The exception of upstairs, this is all
yeah, I think I do have a
kind
beard
of
fetish.
sealed concrete.
So I am a
but
little
we did
weird,
add a little
Tracy.
bit of color.
Well, did
To
you know
the
I'm a
customer's
barber too? I
liking.
know you guys are like, what
Just
do
to
you,
put a
what
little
else do
gray
you
in
do?
there,
You're so
'cause that's kind of what he
crazy.
was going
I'm a
for.
barber too.
Now, right off the bat, I can tell you this big, huge wood wall that we have here on the back.
Yes, this is
Hello,
impressive.
Joyce.
Every
Thanks for
board was
joining. We're
stained
looking at
and
steel
This
structures
is just,
and what you can
kind
do
of me and the
with
guys
a
and the
barn
client. Actually,
dominium,
we
okay?
individually stained every
You
board
love it?
out in the
See?
shop area.
Look
And
at
just
that.
kind of
Is that
did all that, and
gorgeous?
then of course we randomly pick each board and nail
Yes.
them up, and you
Yes,
can kind of get
Karen.
this multi-colored look for a.
Yeah,
and these
Patricia,
are
you could
just
warm it up
pine,
with
1
some
by 8
nice
pine
throw
is what
rubs.
we've got here
Yeah.
on the wall. And being that this is a large open room, of course there's no furniture in here yet. But
So I just wanted to show you
we
that one,
have
and then
the air
another.
conditioner unit, because all of
I
our
just
attic
like
space
this one.
is
Let me
on
see if he's
this
going
side of
into
the house.
the other,
We
like
were
the
coming across this with the
bedrooms or
exposed
something.
spiral duct, which is actually
Okay, so they have
for,
like laundry,
counter space, lots of
lots
drawer
of
space here in
space.
this
Let's look
laundry,
at
and we got
bathrooms. I
cabinets
know
on
ladies like to see the bathrooms. Let's. Oh no.
Click this and play Riders Republic
Commercials.
right now.
All right,
on
let's
both
see.
sides, which is a little bit different in your
Trying to
laundry
find the
room than what we
bathroom.
normally do.
Okay, this is
Goes
a
on
bedroom.
both rooms, but this one looks out towards
Okay, now the bathroom.
the
See?
industrial floating shelf.
I mean, you don't
that we
have to
put
get really
in the
fancy, but
kitchen.
you see how
You see
like
that here.
this is a
Pretty
steel
good
barn,
sizable
everybody.
bathroom,
A
giving you
steel
plenty of
barn.
space, you
I
know,
want you to see that.
front to back.
Look at that.
And
420. Hey
pretty
there,
cool
thank
little bar
you.
light there, industrial style. I really like this
I mean,
tile
they do really
that we're
good
using
work.
here,
This is beautiful
which
work.
is consistent. We're actually using the same tile.
So
as the
let's
master,
see. I'm going to go to
bathroom.
I'm going to
So
stop
this is your
this.
first time seeing it.
And I want to play just another tidbit here, okay, of another one. You said heated slab. Is that what he said? So it's heated, Jeffrey? I mean, there's so. Wait a minute. Hey, Mary, what are you saying? We recently bought land, and I really like this idea. My husband is thinking more log cabin, though. Yeah, I mean, it's so much. Hey, Candace is saying here in Alabama, these are popping up everywhere. Absolutely beautiful. Wonderful. I'm so glad. Okay, so let me share another, because I'm noticing people are doing this over in Australia a lot also. Okay, so this is I like to see like the black, you know, to make it like a matte black, because it kind of is. I don't know. I just like this one a lot. Okay, so let me see, it's a steel structure. It's not a big one, and you could have the windows.
You live together with your wife Karen, don't you? I do, yes. Did she take a lot of convincing to actually move into a small cabin? No, she loves it too.
And they put decks and things, and they have water where they, you know, they are off the grid. A lot of people do
the idea of going off grid.
what is it?
Having 3 children Yeah.
solar
we put the
panels
children all
on
gone, we
top.
found it was time for
So
us
let's see
to
about
sort
more
of have a
about what
different pace
they're
of life
talking
and
about
chill
here
out a
with
bit
this
more.
one.
And
I just love, I
yeah.
think this is
So with
Australia.
this house here, you really have gone for a very sort of traditional.
See, I like the
cabin aesthetic,
black, you
haven't you?
guys. I like
Yeah,
that
I
matte
guess so,
black.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
guys like
We
that,
had
or do
another
you think
house
it's a
in,
little
that
too?
we built just down the road.
Isn't that beautiful? You like this
Similar
one?
Sort of shape,
I just
but it
love
wasn't
it.
small. It was quite
And
big,
it's
and we wanted
small.
to get down to a little house, and it kind of got designed as
And a
we
lot
went
of
to.
people, you know,
Yeah, we
they
knew
do
we
a
wanted to look
deck
inside
where
all
they
sort of
feel
stuff.
like you don't want to
Yeah,
be
sort of designed it,
too
architecture it
cramped
up,
up. You want to
and
feel like the
yeah, really.
outdoors
But
is
we just
another
like black colour
room,
steel,
so you can
pitch
put,
roof,
you know,
and
deck furniture and
just
stuff like
something really
that.
high.
But,
It's
you
not
know, a
so
lot of
easy
them
to
are
build,
off the
but
grid.
yeah, Brilliant.
So I just
And
love
you're a
this.
builder by
This
trade, so you
is
actually constructed
really
this cabin
nice.
yourself, didn't you?
Hey, Eight
Yeah,
Winds,
built
how
one of
are
it,
you?
so
Thanks for
yeah,
joining.
by myself.
I live
So
in the
what size is the cabin
Midwest
here?
where
It's
you have to
54
have a
squares on the
basement.
bottom,
Oh, yeah, certain
and the
areas.
mezzanine
I
is
see what you're
around
saying.
24.
I wonder how
And
that
so
would
you're
work
totally off
out.
the grid with this house as well, aren't you? Yeah, we wanted to do that.
Okay, so
But we were
just
also
wanted to show
fortunate
you
to
that
because
one off the grid.
access
You
to
see they
power
have a
is
lot of
about 500 metres
solar
up the road,
energy
so
that they
yeah,
are
nice and
collecting.
we put the solar
You
panels
like
down the
it too,
front there,
Karen? You like the
and
black?
seems
It
to
gives
work,
it a
so
little bit of
yeah,
style,
and there's
right?
no
I
cabin,
just
which is a
love
huge plus.
it.
Who can argue with that?
It's a
Yeah,
matte
that's
black,
all
you
that.
know,
And
and
I see you're
just so
collecting rainwater as
clean.
well.
The lines
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything.
There's no water system here, so
Okay,
yeah,
so let
we've
me
got it.
stop
It's
that.
rainwater's so much nicer than
Just
tap water.
something I wanted
Tap
to
water
share. How are you all doing? Hey, Monica, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. Let's see. Who else is here? What are you all saying? You love it too, Sharon? Oh, I'm planting seeds. Yes, it's dang beautiful, isn't it? See, Monica, you're saying I'm trying to keep up with the trial with Nadia. Oh, you are? Okay, good, good. Jenna Lee. Hey, everyone. I would love to be off grid. Yes. Let's get off grid, everybody. Let's do it. Okay, so I just want to thank you for joining me. I want to come back and hang out with you tomorrow. And I just want to say that we have a lot to look forward to. I know that things can seem a little disappointing with these, you know, seeing justice happen, but just please have hope and continue praying, okay? And we will see justice happen. So let me just play this again.
I am proud to announce Solis Steel Structures sponsorship. Customized, affordable, and creative solutions to meet building needs, whether it be shelter, homeschooling, studio, and office space. Steel is strong, durable, modern, and minimalist. Let your creativity flow to create an interior that dreams are made of. Contact us today and let's get you into one of these beauties.
All right. So I thank you for joining me, and I will look at what's going on tomorrow. What can we talk about, okay? And you get a good night's sleep, and let's meet up tomorrow. And again, I want to thank you. And again, if you want to tip your hostess, you can do that there, and it will be in the script. And let's see what else you all are saying here. All right. Peace out, Jeffrey. Peace out. Thank you. You're welcome, Tracy. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I love that song. It gives me like the happies, okay? Oh, great. Great. I'm glad. Thank you so much, okay? I will see you soon. Get a good night's sleep. Sweet dreams. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.